Amen.
Yeah. Let's pray just on behalf of Johns Island and the Todd family. Gracious God, we thank you just for this community that pulls together in hard times and is such a visible representation of the love of God on each and every face here tonight. We thank you for our leadership, our mayor, our chief of police, our fire chief that have so diligently worked tirelessly around the clock. And we're just so excited to hear whatever it is they want to share with us tonight. And we just thank you for the Todd family. We thank you for this special community called Johns Island, South Carolina. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So I think there's some more folks coming over from the home over there. But I want to introduce to y'all, if you don't know already, Chief Jerome Taylor, who's our police chief of the city of Charleston, has done a remarkable job. Our solicitor is with us this evening, Scarlett Wilson. Our fire chief, John Tippett. Where did John get off to?
I don't know.
Maybe he's not arrived yet. He'll be here in just a minute. And a special shout out to both Reed Davis and John Warrington with the FBI. This is Reed Davis back here with the FBI. So, the reason we were a little delayed in coming over, folks, is because this story is still unfolding just a bit. The last chapter has not been written yet because the suspect is still at large. However, the most important part of the story and the most important focus that all of our first responders have been focused on is on Heidi Todd and recovering her safely. I know you've already heard, but we give God the glory and our thanks that all of our prayers have been answered, and in fact, Heidi Todd is safe in the hands of the FBI. I've spoken with members of the family. They are so thankful and so blessed at this news. We all thank the amazing cooperation of our first responders. It's just been incredible. Our Charleston Police and Fire Department immediately called upon resources not only locally from the city of North Charleston and Charleston County and Mount Pleasant Police Department, but also our state partners like SLED and the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, and then most importantly the FBI. They've just been a remarkable resource in the leadership and the role that they've played here in the last 36 hours has just been remarkable. And so we'll probably get into just a little bit of the story with you, but it was in Riverside, Alabama, that a Chief Oliver actually stopped the suspect and took the young girl, Heidi, from the suspect, from the car, and luckily got her out of the car safely, and the suspect then sped away. So he's still at large, and there'll be more information on that. But Chief Oliver, in all of our opinion, boy, we're going to have a home warming and a big thank you party for him and show him some Charleston hospitality real soon. I want to ask everyone to continue to pray for Heidi's mom. She's at the medical university. She's receiving care, fine care there, but she really got beat up badly, y'all, and she needs our moral and support in any way. So I ask for your prayers to continue for Heidi's mom. She is a precious little girl. We're so thankful to God and to everyone that's been involved that she's now safe. What could have been a day of real tragedy has turned out to be a day of great joy. And next, I want to call on Reed Davis with the FBI to share a few remarks with you. Reed.
Thank you. I'll keep it very short. All I wanted to say was, on behalf of the men and women of the FBI, I wanted to relay what a great professional group of law enforcement officers you have here in your community. We've been working these incidences for many, many years, and I can tell you that the relationships between your police leadership in Charleston is second to none. They worked flawlessly with the North Charleston Police Department, the county, national resources, SLED, every agency in the area to use whatever resources they had available to bring this to a successful conclusion. So please reach out to your local law enforcement, thank them for the job that they're doing in their communities. Again, they're second to none. This community is truly blessed to have the officials they do. And secondly, go home tonight, hug your kids. All right, God bless.
John Warrington arrived also with the FBI. I just wanted to introduce him to everyone. He's our local head of the FBI here in Charleston and has done a remarkable job. And Chief Tippett, if you'd stand forward and be recognized as well. Our fire department, by the way, did really the search aspect of the operation, while of course the police and others handled the more criminal side of it. And if I may call for just a minute for Chief Jerome Taylor, and then we'll hear from Solicitor Scarlett Wilson. Chief.
Thank you. Sir. First, I want to give thanks for the community for the support. We really was supported by the community in this particular area. You know, they brought us food, they were there with us, and most of all, I want to thank the men and women of the Charleston Police Department. I've got some officers been working from yesterday until today. They showed a true sense of urgency. They showed a true sense of love for this particular community, and the people showed us love. This particular community is very, very safe, very, very supportive of the Charleston Police Department. When you look at it, yesterday, this particular time, we were very, very sad. Everybody saw us out here and saw what we're doing, and look at us tonight, you know, with the victory itself. And most of all, had an opportunity, we met with the family. We also met with some religious leaders today. And most of all was prayer. Amen. And faith that we talked about. And as a result of that, things just start to click together with our partners, various federal partners, state and local partners, and we just work towards a common goal with a sense of urgency. But most of all, I'm just thankful for the return of the young lady who was taken away from her residence, and also I pray for the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And now maybe for a bit of the part of the story that hasn't concluded yet, our Solicitor Scarlett Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I have to reiterate what everyone else has said. This community has shown everybody what we are. Once again, our law enforcement has shown what they know to be the best way to operate, which is collaborating, professional. They have done a remarkable job. Our local law enforcement working with each other, working with our federal partners in the FBI, state law enforcement. It really is incredible. Unfortunately, we've had to work together before, but that has brought us the experience we need to get the job done in this case. As the mayor said, there is a suspect who is at large who was last seen in Alabama, and there should be a BOLO, a be on the lookout, put out by the FBI and local law enforcement soon. The name is Thomas Lawton Evans, white male, date of birth 11/7/80. We anticipate warrants from the state charges, the local charges for kidnapping, We also anticipate the FBI to secure their complaints, their warrants soon as well. We anticipate there will be additional charges filed, but those are the things that we need to get in place so that nationwide there is a search for the suspect. And again, I think very shortly the media should have the rest of the identifying information, photographs and things like that, so that everyone can be on the lookout for the suspect. But we can't thank law enforcement enough for working together and working smartly, and for realizing that the most important thing in this whole crisis was finding Heidi. And they did that, and I can't wait to shake that chief's hand, and I know that the mayor can't wait either. It is a happy ending indeed. Our work in the solicitor's office and the United States Attorney's office has just begun, and you can be assured that we'll work together to see this case through to justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. And I will share with everyone that I believe it was Reed shared with me a picture of Heidi making a paper airplane in front of the FBI agent down there, and she had a bright smile on her face and appeared to be happy in the picture, and it just warms all of our hearts. And I kind of went out of order, but I do want to see if Chief Tippett would like to share a couple of remarks with us. As I said, our fire department kind of led the search aspect of the operation. Chief Tippett.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the men and women of the Charleston Fire Department and our response partners of Charleston County EMS, Charleston County Sheriff's Office, Charleston County Volunteer Rescue Squad, and our other fire department response partners, we want to just express how overjoyed we are at the happy outcome of Heidi being returned to her family, found safe. Also want to, on behalf of the Fire and Rescue Services, express our sincere admiration for the work of our law enforcement partners. Watching them work their side of this story was truly something that was just earned you deeper respect for the job that they do. So we're ecstatic that Heidi was found safe. We're keeping their family in our thoughts. We'd ask you to keep her mom in your thoughts as she's going through her recovery. And if there's anything we can do for the Todd family or anybody else in this community, we stand ready to do that. And we would also like to extend our deepest appreciation to the members of this community for all the support you've given us over the last couple of days with your gratification with food and all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. So if anybody has any questions, we'll try to...
Mayor, is Evans local? Scarlett, is he local? What can you tell us about him?
I don't want to get into the details of Mr. Evans because you will have a BOLO that will have everything. This is all coming in very quickly with us. Other than he is local, you have his date of birth, he is a white male. Beyond that, you'll have some flyers. Then you may already have it. Your stations may already have that.
Any relationship with the Todd family?
Not that we're aware of.
What prompted Officer Oliver to make that traffic stop?
Apparently the automobile was parked along a railroad track, and so it must have appeared suspicious to him. I have not spoken with Officer Oliver myself.
You guys said the mom was beaten pretty badly. Was she sexually assaulted by chance or anything like that, or just beaten?
We don't believe so.
And the description of the suspect, I know you said that we'll be getting that update, but the big question is, you guys sent a picture out with a guy with a lot of facial tattoos. Is that the same person that people will need to be looking for?
That is not the same person, and that's a great question. I did want to bring that up, that the person of interest that we shared with you this afternoon is not the suspect, but he had been seen here in the neighborhood recently, and so we wanted to talk to him, but he is not the suspect. The suspect is now presumably still in Alabama.
Mayor, can you tell us the response from the Todd family when they got the word? Do you know who notified them and what that was like?
The FBI notified him, and I'm not sure who made the call.
I believe it was the Office of Victims Assistance along with the Charleston detectives and FBI agents.
How is she being brought back?
Well, there's a plane that's flying to Alabama right now with Heidi's dad, and they will be reunited momentarily, I would say, and will be coming back to Charleston very soon, if not tonight, then in the morning.
Did they say if Heidi had realized what had happened, that she'd actually been kidnapped? Because Forrest's pretty young, and so sometimes you may not be able to gather what's going on.
All I know is I saw a picture of her with a happy, smiling face.
Any idea of a motive, Mayor?
No, ma'am. That's still a mystery that we will be unraveling.
So can the folks here on Johns Island in this neighborhood tonight sleep peacefully?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is a sad freak incident. It's not. Some of her family was from Colorado that I met with this afternoon, and in fact asked the question, is this the kind of thing that happens in Charleston? And I said, no, it's not. So thankfully, that's not the case. This is a safe neighborhood and a safe place to be. And we had an unfortunate and almost tragic incident here.
And Mayor, was Officer Oliver aware that Heidi Todd was missing? Had he seen that photo, or did he really just think, you know, maybe this is suspicious?
Yes, he had seen our request to look for Heidi, and yes, he was aware of that.
You said earlier today that the suspect possibly followed her into her home from somewhere. Can you elaborate any more on that?
I don't have any more information on that.
Do we still believe that's the case?
We still believe that's the case.
You guys were, officers asked neighbors for surveillance video if they had any cameras up. Were you guys able to find anybody who had cameras around their houses who may have, you know, seen the suspect go into the house or anything like that?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
He's got a record, doesn't he?
He does have a record. He was well known to law enforcement.
Mayor, what time was the traffic stop? You might have already said that. Do you know what time?
I don't have the exact time.
Approximately 4 p.m.
Excuse me, Chief?
It was approximately 4 p.m.
Around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So God bless you all. Thank you. Our prayers have been answered. Heidi is safe. It's really a blessing for our community. Thank you all.